Shalom, shalom. Call Allah Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives to do so. To the scattered elect across the four corners of the earth, and those among the heathen nations that look like the heathen nations, pursuant to Jeremiah 12:9, known as the speckled birds. I am disciple of Parium, a follower of Great Millstone, coming to you with a lesson in truth and sincerity. Now, what you see below is a screenshot that I took. The TikTok got all these random people doing lessons, and this guy by the name of Ron Torah. I think he's probably one of them Old Testament Israelite only jakes. But however, the whole deal was Jesus on trial, and he's going with the premise was with Matthew 12:1 and 2. And he didn't really hit on the rest of that chapter, which kind of breaks down what Yahweh Shai was doing, why he was doing it, and and he didn't even go into any commentary or anything. So I pray that I could convey this message across to you, Akim Akwath, and I pray that it's edifying. So lucky. With that said, you just kind of want to scroll through this. You can see where it says, Yahweh Shai on trial. It says Jesus here, but it's Yahweh Shai. And, he goes into the law, Exodus 16:29, where it says, see, for the Lord hath given you the Sabbath. Therefore, he given you on the sixth day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Yet no man go out of his place in the seventh day. So he's saying that Yahweh Shai broke the Sabbath, when that's not true. Let's see. He goes into Exodus 28:10. It says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor. You get the point. So with that, I'm going to go off and read my first precept. And it's going to be 2 Timothy 4 and 2. It says, preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. And that's what I'm looking to do, hopefully, being patiently and correcting, rebuking, and encouraging, so it says here, your people with good teaching. Okay. So now let's go to Isaiah 8. Verses 20 to 22. It says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And they shall pass through it hardly bestead and hungry. And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, and they shall fret for themselves and curse their king and their God, and look upward. Last verse, and they shall look into the earth, and behold, trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness. And these people that speak out against Yahweh Shai, and against this word, not understanding it fully, this is what is to come, and this is what is so. All right. So let's go ahead and get the account that he was speaking of. Matthew chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. And it's titled Sabbath Questions. It says, at this time, Yahweh Shai went on the Sabbath day to the corn, and his disciples were hungered, and began to pluck the ears of corn and eat it, and to eat. Verse 2. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, behold, thy disciples that do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. So, obviously when you read those two, it's out of context, okay? You got to go deep into this. You got to pull the meat off the bone, all right? So let's go to Mark 2:27 to 28. And it reads, "And he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath." Okay, I'll read that in the NLT. It says Sabbath was made to meet the needs of the people, and not people to meet the requirements of Sabbath, because then it goes into the carnal requirements of man, and we'll get that later on. It says, "Therefore the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath." And who is that? That's Yahweh Shai. Was he not there at the beginning and the creation? Okay. So it was customary for farmers to leave crops for travelers in need, i.e. the poor. And Yahweh Shai and the disciples, they were very poor, especially during that time. And so, Yahweh Shai didn't use his powers. He could have easily done that, but he didn't do that, right? Because he didn't want to go against, the Lord, against Yahweh. All right. So let's go to Exodus 12 and 16. It's lucky for the background noise. I'm over here out of town, so just it's been on my mind for a minute, and I wanted to write this down and jot this down. So I'm staying at some hotel here. But anyway, it says Exodus 12 and 16. "And in the first day there should be a holy convocation, and in the seventh day there should be a holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you." All right, so it says no work of any kind in the NLT may be done on these days except in the preparation of food. Okay, so Yahweh Shai, he permitted the disciples to lack bread. A man, therefore, is not forsaken of Yahweh because he is in want. Okay, it is more honorable to suffer the want of all temporary things, of all temporal things, in fellowship with Hamashiach and his followers, than to have all things in abundance in connection with the world. Okay. So we're going with Matthew 12 and 1. Yahweh Shai never violated Yahweh's command to observe the Sabbath. He often broke man's legalistic additions. Okay. Anyways, by this argument that he broke the Sabbath, okay, the Pharisees broke the Sabbath by setting a watch over them for lawbreakers. That's work. Okay. So which one is it? All right. Slocky, let's see. So let's go to verse 3 right there. Trying to follow along in my sword. So this is the verse 3. "But he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did when he was an hungered, and they that were with them?" Okay, so Yahweh Shai is reading this to them because obviously, he's gonna tell them what David was doing, and this is an account in 1 Samuel, I believe, 21 and 6. It says, verse 6, it says, "So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread there but the show bread." So this is speaking of that was taken from the before the Lord to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. Okay, and that was in the tabernacle. So the priests, they gave this bread because David was hungered, the show bread, the holy bread, onto David, and he was allowed to eat it. But that's showing that David was a man after Yahweh's heart, truly. Let's go back to Matthew 12, verse 4. It says, how he entered into the house of Yahweh and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were not them, which were with him, but only for the priests. So basically, this is a foreshadowing, the king, priest, in the future, right? Because Yahweh came from the loins and lineage of King David, right? And we know that that was a Levitical priesthood, but that there was going to be a priesthood much greater than that, and that was the priesthood under Malach Tazadak or Melchizedek. All right, so this future priesthood is going to be everlasting throne of David. You get that in Luke 1:32. He says, he should be great and shall be called the Son of the Highest, and the Lord power, all right, shall give unto him the throne of his father David. And we go even back to Isaiah 9:7. It says, of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with the judgment and with the justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord Yahweh of hosts will perform this. This is a future prophecy, okay? It says, let's read the NLT real quick. It says, his government and its peace will never end. He will rule with fairness and justice from the throne of his ancestor David for all eternity, right? And this is speaking of, obviously, Yahweh Shai, but the throne of David will be established in the kingdom, okay? And that was a promise that was given unto David by the Lord. Obviously, he couldn't have that throne because, he had blood on his hands, and his son Solomon had to build it, okay? It says, the passionate commitment of the Lord of heaven's armies will make this happen, okay? So going back to Matthew 12, let's go to verse 5. And this is Yahweh speaking. Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temples profane the Sabbath and are blameless? Because the priests were giving up offerings. They were working, okay? If we had to live by the law, we'd be dead. There'd be no mercy. There'd be no grace. So yeah, this guy is, right here, hey man, he's going off. Okay, he didn't read the rest of it. He was very deceitful, and he was trying to challenge people on the live. It was gross. It was very grotesque to even watch. So, but that's why I wanted to come and do a lesson, and to to read further into this. Okay, so verse 5, Yahweh Shai, he is a king and a priest after the order of Melchizedek. Let's go to Hebrews 7. (15 through 17). Look at that on the NLT. It says Yahweh Shai is like Melchizedek. Hello. It says, and it is yet far more evident, for that after the similitude of Melchizedek, there arises another priest. Who can it be? Who is made not after the law of a carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life. Verse 17, for he testifieth, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Okay, so obviously this is Yahweh Shai. This is a future prophecy. Okay, so go back to Matthew. Go to verse 6. But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. Okay? So I want to pull a couple precepts on this. Let's go to Malachi 3:1 for these Old Testament mofos. It says, the purifier. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come into his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. All right. Okay, Hebrews 3:3. Yahushua is our high priest. All right. So, for this man was counted worthy of more glory than Moses, insomuch as he who hath builded the house have more honor than the house. Okay, it's plain. Matthew 23. So we'll read 17 to 23. It says, ye fools and blind, for whatever is greater, the gold or the temple, than that sanctifieth the gold. You know, he's asking the question here, right? And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing. But whosoever sweareth by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. Verse 19, ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gift or the altar that sanctifieth the gift. Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar sweareth by it, and by all things thereon. Verse 21, and whoso shall swear by the temple sweareth by it, and by him that dwelleth therein. Verse 22, and he that shall swear by heaven sweareth by the throne of Yahweh, and by him that sitteth thereon. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. Right here in the NLTs, but do not neglect the more important things. Verse 7. Matthew 12:7. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice, ye would have not have condemned the guiltless. All right. So let's go to James 2:10. It says, for whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. Okay. Just bear with me for a second. So let's go to Romans 9 and 6. It says, for not as though the word of Yahweh have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. And this is kind of speaking of this gentleman, down here, right here. I don't even say gentleman. This Jake down here. All right, leading the flock astray. I'm going to finish off in Psalms 109 and 2. It says, for the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. Right here, verse 6, it says, set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand in his right hand. It says, when he shall be judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer become sin. Yeah, just trying to put a bad name on Yahweh Shai, you know, hey, that's you just asking for it. All right. So with that, I pray that this lesson was edifying. Abba Babal, Kwam Yasha Allah, Shalom.